My name is Bill Loutitt. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Fort McMurray Métis.
Bill, I'm honored to be here with you today. I'm excited to learn about this beautiful region of Fort McMurray. And I'm excited because there is so much Indigenous and Métis culture here. And the Métis culture in particular, when I saw your Red River cart and the teepee and all of those things outside.
Have you seen the scow yet?
I have not. And
well, it's being built right, it's in the yard, but that was the mode of transportation for the Métis.
The big canoe type?
It's a 40-foot long. It's a scow hauled freight.
A scow, holy cow. So tell me about the Métis culture here, about the history a little bit. Tease us.
Well, the one thing about the Métis history is that it's relatively untold.
Yes.
And it's not to blame anybody for it, but you know, like as you know, it got more populated here, more opportunities for heritage village and stuff like this. But through this all is people that have come in, and it's their version, and it's you take even the shipyards, although a lot of the people that worked on that knew all the people here. There's not a real good story there of how, you know, the Métis were involved. Like at one time, 80% of the people working on the river were Métis. And with that, you got a whole bunch of Métis captains and pilots and deckmen, and you don't even hear about it. You know, it's unfortunate, but you know, that's the way it is when people write history. It's generally about people they know in that, and not to try and leave out people, but there was just never ever any consultation with Métis on what the stuff they were doing. So the big thing that I would really like to see, and it's going to be showcased in our cultural center, is Métis history. And you know, it's going to give the, you know, our youth an opportunity to be proud. And yes, there has been some, you know, tough times, you know, but we fought through them. And you know, like the fire, for instance, we were the first building to burn, and you know, they had kept us out here, wouldn't let us come in to our property, you know, 3 days, you know, before that. And you know, the last day they said, well, you guys got half hour to get in and out. We ended up losing a lot of stuff, and but you know, we've shown we're very resilient. We bounced back, and we came back stronger, and you know, basically because it was a fresh start too, so we were able to, you know, build strategic plans and get that stuff organized so that you know, we're able to move ahead at a pretty good pace, especially during COVID. You know, a lot of people took time off and worked from home and all that, and we were doing it too, the ones that had to, but for the most part, we were still, you know, well, just to put a little perspective on it, you know, our membership numbers were 300. At the end of COVID, and well, it's not the end of COVID yet, but with, you know, just recently we've updated our membership, and there's close to 800 members now, and all actively getting active. So, you know, we got a real good, strong board. And there again, you know, like we've been very fortunate in this area that, you know, many of us had opportunity to work a full career at the plant sites. So of course, what happened there was our kids got educated, and you know, like they're looking for meaningful work. So you know, that kind of has driven a lot of us that worked our time and retired from industry. Like myself, I worked for TransCanada. I did electrical instrumentation and controls for 26 years, and I was able to retire comfortably, but I came back to the local to work on some of these issues that have been with us for generations, eh? And likewise, you know, you take our president, Peter Hansen.
Yeah.
He's another one, put 40 years in at Syncrude and is now back at the local, basically volunteering most of his time. But, you know, it's for a purpose. It's for our youth. It's for the future, eh? And, you know, we've attempted to get involved in the economy here because of all the money that's you see being made, eh? But we were always the ones on the bottom end making the money for everybody. And through this all, our traditional territory was being ripped up and, you know, just exploited to the nth degree. But, you know, now we're in a position of, you know, finally being recognized as Indigenous people, which wasn't the case, you know, in the early 2000s when all these projects were approved. So there was a big rush there to get these projects approved before Métis got recognition, because then they would have to consult, and now you'd have to, you know, accommodate the impacts to that their rights. So that's slowly happening now, and you know, they found that, like I said, you know, we are a little different. We've all worked in industry, so we got a lot of valuable information we bring back to committees. Like we were on water withdrawal, and you know, water being introduced back into the Athabasca River and the monitoring that's going to be required, all this stuff. And you know, with our years of experience working with industry in that field, it's very beneficial.
Absolutely.
And you know, we're always looking for solutions. So this, you know, works right into, you know, the future, in that a lot of the problems they're having with the environment can be fixed. You know, like they're not going to be perfect. You know, it's not back to the day when they told us that they were going to put it back better than it was. You know, we explained that can't happen. You know, but you know, we've been with them, worked with them, and we'll go out and do tours of some of the reclamation sites, and you know, it's quite surprising. A lot of the elders are saying, "Hey, geez, it is working,"
and they are doing a better job and being more responsible, because they are consulting and they are finally listening, and they are understanding that there's more to be had when everyone works together for the common good. And there's common good for everyone here, and common ground for everyone, right?
Well, it's, you know, it's not going to be perfect,
No.
like I said, but it's, you know, with the consultation and trying to mitigate all those factors that are negative, it does work. You know, it's not perfect, like I said, but you can come up with some kind of solution that everybody can live with, and you can go ahead and you know, go into production, and our youth get work and that sort of stuff. And hey, that's all we're looking for.
You may be from Alberta, but have you really seen Alberta? With its vast vistas and stunning locale, get acquainted with what Alberta has to offer by experiencing Alberta through the eyes of a tourist.
have such a unique culture. It's very proud, very long. Thing I admire the most about the Métis people is their resilience. The Métis people have always managed to keep their culture strong, which is very unique in the Indigenous world.
Oh, it's surprising people that see it, and even First Nations, they come to us when they need teepees put up, they need poles cut, they need to go do some work on the land. They come to us because we got the trappers, we got the land users that are still out there, eh? And they're out there too, and I'm not disputing that they're not. It's just that I don't know. We pulled together. Like, you take a look at our community, and it's.
Just the growth, going from 300 active members, because in good times we tend to be complacent, right?
Yeah.
But the minute the tough things happen, the tough kind of pull together, don't they?
Well, I think the big thing is we realized that there was a lot of people hurting out there, and even just a phone call made a difference, and we had a lot of youth that we've been very fortunate in that we've had a lot of summer students. We applied for full 1 year. We had 66 summer students, and this year we only had 30, but like, they're out working all in the community, doing stuff for elders, for other organizations like Legion and them. So we do, and we make sure our trappers, we've got some trappers there, they're all getting older. There's not a whole lot of turnover there, in that the ones that are still out there, they don't want to leave. I mean, we got a guy here walking around in a walker, and he still wants to go trapping, eh? And not last year, but the year before, he had probably more fur than anybody else, eh? So he had, he really wants it, and we're looking for the opportunities to bring more youth into it, but it's got to be an interest, and it takes a special person to be a trapper. Everybody thinks it's just simple, but no.
No, none of those rough trades are simple.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to a few questions I have about Métis culture and where people can learn, and how can a non-Indigenous person truly learn about the history and the culture. I mean, we have Métis Crossing, which is a really great facility, and a huge step forward in teaching about the culture. But the whole way to learn about a culture is through experiencing it, through coming to different jigging competitions and all of those kinds of things. So what is the cultural scene like up here for the Métis people, and how can non-Indigenous people learn about it?
Well, right now, we work pretty good with the schools. As you notice, the two big tents out here, we're donating one to the public and one to the Catholic school, so they have an outdoor classroom. We're putting in the benches, and it's going to provide an opportunity for our elders to go and talk to students, and that's the easiest and best way to do it, I guess, is to have it come right from out of the mouth of the people that they're talking about, eh? So that's the one way. But our big thing was this dream that one of our presidents had, and that was back in the early 90s, was Grant Goloski. He wanted the cultural center, a Métis cultural center. He was specific about it, eh? So, over time he died, passed away, and everybody talked about it and that, but really we didn't really push it until, I think it was the first feasibility study we did was, I think it was in 2005. So it's not something that we haven't been pushing, and every time we'd get close to getting the stuff approved, they'd change ministers, or there'd be election and the government changes, and we'd start all over again. But this time we were able to hit it right from the start. Like I said, you know, I was fortunate that 2016, when the fire happened, I hit my 85 number with TransCanada. The Liberal government was in federally, and the NDP got in provincially. So for me, it was, you know, no second thoughts on it. It was time to retire, go work at the local, and get something done for a change. And it actually did work. And but there again, it was, you know, creating a team here too. Like, we got a real fantastic staff. It's unreal how everybody works together. And you know, you come in the morning and sitting here and you hear the giggling and laughing, and you know, like, you know that they're really enjoy their work, eh? And that's where I find is with Métis, we've always had to work, and we've always known it's, you know, you do your best work when you're happy, and you're happy when you're doing something you want. So if you can find that, it's really good to do.
You may be from Alberta, but have you really seen Alberta? With its vast vistas and stunning locale, get acquainted with what Alberta has to offer by experiencing Alberta through the eyes of a tourist.
I love competition myself, and you know, my sort of field, I worked underground as a miner for 15 years before I got into electrical, but you know, there's where, you know, I actually shone is because it was a game, eh? I always played and see who made the top bonus and that, eh? So it was kind of a little bit of an ego thing, but it comes from hockey, you know, it's like a game. You're out to win, and after the game you shake hands, but during the game you could be punching it out, eh? So that's the way I actually look at it, and you know, I really think that you know, we're going to see the changes in this next generation. You know, like I keep saying, we can't lose another generation, and you know, that's why, you know, our big focus is on our youth, just to make sure that, you know, there's
And how are you encouraging them to getting into jigging and fiddling and crafting all of the canoes and the scows and the things that are important, the Red River cart and all of those skills to make sure those never get forgotten? How are you impacting your youth that way?
Well, I suppose the biggest way is actually through our summer student program, but you know, in order for that to happen, like we brought in one older guy here to work on the scow, and you know, we'll have to take you out there to it before too long here, but you'll see what's involved, and he had to try and give information to the guys out there on how to get this done, eh? And so yeah, it is a little bit of a struggle at times to try and get traditional knowledge to our youth. But today, just for instance, we had our berry and seed committee. They were out picking berries and seeds that they're actually you know, looking for the cultural center, what we're going to put on the grounds. They've got to go with natural plants that are here, and it's going to be a green roof, so we're going to have cover on that. And so all this stuff is being worked on now, eh? And you get transfer of knowledge, and it's all about the land and environment and that, eh? So, but yeah, it's not going to be Once that cultural center is built, you know, there's where we're making sure our youth, like we got our communications team similar to what you guys do, but you know, we've made sure that they're going to get the top-notch stuff in there, and you know, they're all excited about it right now, and they know that they're going to have a theater and sound rooms and stuff where they can do their work that you know, they really have a passion for, eh? So.
Well, and you know, it's interesting to watch youth as they bud into something that excites them and lights them up,
Yeah.
right? When they are engaged and lit up, they aren't causing damage, they aren't out being a challenge to their parents. It doesn't matter what child it is in the universe, when you give them something that they can be passionate about and sink their teeth into, there is nothing more forceful in the world than a youth on fire.
Yeah, you know, just to see the confidence in them is the big thing, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I am so grateful to get to spend some time. And when is your cultural center anticipated to break ground?
We've already broke ground
Oh, okay. Where is it being built?
down in McDonald Island.
Is that the construction?
That's the construction,
I was down there
8.2 acres.
yesterday and looking at that going, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is going to be absolutely stunning. So when is the open date, do you think?
It'll be December 2023.
Can I get an invite?
For our elders' Christmas
It's going to be our elders' Christmas party. It's going to be held there, yeah.
That is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I want an invite to an event there.
Yeah.